Hello and welcome, everyone. So this is going to be a beginning of my 100th episode. This is going to be probably one of my longest episodes, possibly. Not 100% sure. What I will be doing is I'm going to be launching all of my engines, connecting them up. It's all going to be sped up, obviously. I'm going to throw some music in the background, hopefully. And yeah, I'm gonna try to see how this works out. I'm gonna really get in depth working of this video editor because I've never really done this stuff before. So hopefully it all works out. Then afterwards, we will be going to Duna. Yes. So Anyways, guys, I will see you on the other side. At the end of this, if you don't want to watch all this, I will put in the video exactly where, I will put at the end of this right here after I'm done talking, what point to speed up to if you just want to not watch any of the construction part. So anyways, guys, I'll see you on the other side. And we are back, guys. Yeah, so this thing is pretty much done. Amazing. That's all I have to say. Just absolutely amazing. And I don't know what engine this is. Okay, yeah. So, I'm gonna have to manually decouple that and then keep my finger as far away from spacebar as it could possibly be. I'll just move these up, actually, just to be on the safe side. I don't know. Alright, that is right there. I'm gonna move this up too. Yeah, so this thing is just absolutely freaking awesome. I'm very happy right now. This thing is just come together ever so nicely. You guys saw, if you guys watched the little montage, yeah, there was a few little problems here and there, but nothing serious. Just docking faux pas, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, that's about it. But, yeah, so, I'm going to kind of leave it here, and I'm just going to do my burn in order to get to the moon. Yes, we are going to be leaving Kerbin for good. Or are we? Yeah, I don't know. I think... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be leaving Kerbin. I wanted to put a few more Kerbals, in these, things, but, I think we're just gonna leave them empty for now, and then when we will set up some manned missions, and, yeah, we will put some Kerbals on the surface of Minmus. You know, I'm kind of prepping for the fact that I might have to do another launch, which is a definite possibility. I mean, not a 100%, but I'm not very certain that these things are going to be able to come together very nicely once we get to the surface of Duna. So, yeah, guys, you know, I'm almost tempted that this thing could probably make it to Lathe easily, and I would really like to take it there, but, yeah, I don't know. But, I'm going to cut here, and, you know, I will see you guys once we finish our burn to get to the moon. So, I'm going to... I'll just set up the burn point, and then I will start the burn, actually. And, then afterwards... Because the graphics right now are kind of, wigging out a little bit. And, you know, it's not looking too good. So, this is what we need here. That's what we needed. There we go. Why did that change? That's weird. So, we need to go in... no, we need to go outside. So, that is going to be a separate... Let's see. Can we slingshot any further out in a different direction here? Yeah, that's going to work out a little bit better for us. Let's see. Kind of go like that. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. We're just going to scoot on by the moon. Usually when you get a really close orbit, too, it kind of shoots you out real far. So, you know, whatever happens, I think I'm just going to stick with something like that, just to be on the 100% sure side that everything works out very well. So yeah, let's get this thing ready, and I will start my burn here, and we can just see what this thing looks like when we do our first initial burn with this. So it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to wait until about 4 minutes or so, and then I'm just going to start my burn up, because all we need to do... Alright, 3 minutes then. 3 minutes it is. So we need to maneuver, and you can see the frame rate has dropped a little bit. You know, I think that just has to do with the fact that there is just so many freaking parts on this thing. Nobody really asked about this, but I guess you guys figured you knew what it was for. One side is a regular size docking port. At least it was. Wow, so that got messed up. These were initially going to be used for, in case if there was a problem, that I would be able to dock up. I had one big size and one small size, and I did that just so, whatever craft I have, they can just dock right up directly to it, regardless of whatever size, whether it was small, medium, or large. So let's start our engine. And I'm sure somebody's going to be like, that's such a small engine, why aren't you using all the big ones? Ooh, we are getting some wobbling going on around here too. This isn't really a good thing. I'm sure once this engine detaches though, it'll probably, a lot of this wobbling will kind of go away. But wow, that is pretty disgusting. These docking ports definitely don't hold up as well as they were advertised. I mean, I can almost see inside there. I mean, look at that. Yeah, that's definitely not as good as advertised, I do have to say. I'm tempted to start up all of these at the same time, but I don't really know if I should do that. So I'm going to move these down too, because I didn't do that. I noticed that when I was setting up our burn. Let's see. These need to be moved down, and I'm just gonna make sure it's not the engine. I gotta take the right engines down, so that's gotta be the right thing here. But this thing is really wobbling. I do know that the design isn't the very best, and I know that there could have been a couple other ways I could have done this, but I kind of planned on the fact that these docking ports would in fact hold themselves in place perfectly. So, once again, not as good as advertised. They really need to do some kind of work with these docking ports in a sense that kind of creates more of a, I don't know, makes it more stable to where it becomes a solid piece or something along those lines, where the connection is kind of like infinite. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I know that, that kind of isn't realistic in a sense, but when you get stuff like this happening, it really does suck. And you guys saw how long that mission was. So anyways, I'm going to cut here, and I will see you once we get in orbit around the sun. And we are back, guys. Yeah, so, weird thing, that has come up. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced this, but so basically what I ended up doing is I ended up having to launch about a few separate times. That's why my fuels are kind of off, and probably the time is off a little bit too compared to my last two launches, when I left off with you guys, I should say. So anyways, where I left off, we were in orbit around Kerbin, which Kerbin is this mass of all this junk floating around right here. And, we took off, and then we slingshot ourselves around the moon, and then ended up leaving the system. Now, what I do have to ask is the fact that, I've never seen this before in my entire time of ever playing this game. So what ended up happening is after I would slingshot out of the moon's orbit, and I would end up into a orbit around the sun, depending on what I would do and how things would work out, the craft itself, my screen would go black, and then the nav ball would go black as well, and it basically wouldn't give me any information whatsoever. Nothing, at all. So then what I would end up doing is going to the tracking station and looking that up to see what happened and where, the spacecraft is. And it basically would say leaving the Kerbin system, uh, or the Kerbal system, or whatever you want to call it, then it was just lost. And then if I restarted my game, the actual craft itself did not exist. So I don't know what happened, but hopefully this doesn't happen anymore, and I really pray that it doesn't. But yeah, so anyways, I might as well start up my next little montage of getting to Duna. I plan on trying to do the best, possible, the most efficient trip I can possibly get, which I think I'm going to have to start my burn somewhere around in this area. I'm not 100% certain, but we're going to just start our orbit real quick. And yeah, so hopefully, if there are any problems, I'm going to have to try to reset, or something along those lines. Not really sure. Definitely the weirdest thing I've encountered in this game. I normally don't have any problems with the way that the game works, or any. Whoa, what did I just do? No, normally I don't have any problems with normal functioning in this game, or creating ships or anything like that. And this has to be the weirdest thing that I've encountered as of yet. So, hopefully we don't get anything else happening on this trip. Looks like I'm probably going to have to do my burn around here. So I'm going to have to speed up, and we're going to do probably one full orbit before we can even get to Duna. I'm probably going to have to... the inclination isn't really that bad, but I think I want to fix it. So, we're going to have to end up doing our burn somewhere around this time anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. I have never really had too much problems with interplanetary travel, but, I have I have had to wait, intense amounts of time just to fix inclinations. That's one of the major things is, your inclination always kind of needs to be fixed. And the one thing I really don't like about interplanetary travel is the amount of time involved. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's quite annoying when you have to wait a huge amount of time in order to even do anything, really. I mean, most of the time, you're just sitting around waiting for stuff to happen, which kind of sucks. Let's see. And setting up your burn, too, for your inclination is definitely one of the things that kind of sucks, too, because you gotta constantly reset it, because it's not perfect. Compared to doing an orbit around Kerbin, where when you set up your node, how long do you have to wait? What, 5-10 seconds to do a burn? And you don't really have to move the node around at all either. So, and it's like where you set the node when you're zoomed really far out isn't the same place as where it actually is later. So you have to keep on zooming in on the map in order to place the node, like, almost perfectly. So, like, I wish it told you the time on the ascending node, too. No, that's just gonna delete it. I don't want to do that. Now, where is our ascending node? Oh, yeah, that's right, because I didn't even, Oh, stop it. So we are going to fix this a little bit. Is this going to fix it? Yeah, no, not at all. This will fix it. Noob mistakes. And it doesn't really look like we have to do much of a burn to, correct anything here. It's really not that bad. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, it's because I'm probably pulling it the wrong direction once again. Oh, yeah. So let's just bring this up a little bit. This does actually kind of come into play a good portion because your location afterward, you want to make sure that it's like almost perfect, because even just a few degrees or 0.1 of a degree will make a huge difference later on. So if you can get it to 00 or just NAN, that's really good. I don't really know what NAN even stands for. I guess it just kind of means like data not available or something along those lines. You know, it basically, I think that means it's like perfect, but don't get me wrong, I don't really know. NAN just means a really good thing for me. When I see NAN, I'm like, okay, well, I did something really good right there. So, yeah, we got 1 hour to wait, and then this is where Time Warp really starts to come back and bite you for all those times that you neglected it. And I don't dare quick save right now, only because I'm really afraid that this ship is going to just randomly disintegrate like it did, or do whatever it did. It was not a good thing. You know, bad things happen to good people, like I always say, along with this game as a sadist. But hopefully we have everything fixed, and that's just a prayer. Cross the fingers. Alright, so we're doing our inclination burn right now. And I'll just bring this down a little bit because we don't have much left. Whoa, there we go. And I think I'm just going to leave it there because I don't dare burn... well, a little bit. Yeah, I'll just leave it right there. That's more than perfect. So, I don't know where... I think our burn is going to have to be set up somewhere around here. I'm not 100% certain. With interplanetary travel, it's always kind of a new thing for me. Sometimes I do it flawlessly, and other times there's problems. So it really just depends. It looks like I'm kind of spot on, but it looks like we're going to end up having to wait a very intense amount of time to do our burn. It's going to have to be done somewhere around here. You really want to come and just graze the side of the planet and have it pull you in. That's kind of how I've gotten the gist of it over the time I've played this. You want to kind of come in on the side and have, you know, the planet kind of pull you in. I mean, on this map screen, obviously it probably isn't the exact same kind of thing, but you can see that they are getting very close to each other. And let's see what we can get. Doing this on Time Warp probably isn't the best thing either, so you can see there's one of them. How you want to get it as close as you possibly can as well. Some of those, just sometimes it really doesn't work out so well. Let's see. If I do a little bit harder of a burn, that might change things. How about a little softer? You know, you want to use the least amount of fuel that you possibly need. That's another thing too. You know, in coming in like this is a lot more fuel efficient than, say, burning directly at it. Because I've seen where people will get into orbit like this, and then they'll find the best approach where, you know, their what is it, their apoapsis, or their whatever, it's like shooting way far out, and you're burning so much fuel in order to get there that it's not even, it's comical almost. You're wasting so much resource in order to get there. Your ship size is going to be drastically increased. Everything's going to be drastically increased just because you're burning way too much fuel. So let's see, if we do a little bit more of a burn here. I can't see anything. That's the main problem too, is everything is so condensed. But usually this is where I sit around for a while and I'm just kind of playing around with it until I get it absolutely perfect. Just because you want to get in close. You don't want to be, like this is actually really good right here. 4 million kilometer, or was that 4? Yeah, 4 million. That's okay. That's not bad. I've seen it where people have gotten a lot closer. I think Kurt did a video a while back, and he ended up getting around 2 million or so, but he also did a lot of correctional burns and stuff like that, to, increase the distance, or, I guess decrease the distance. It all depends. Just really, honestly, all depends. But this generally works. If you guys look, yes, I just did, like, almost a complete orbit around, Kerbal, whatever, did a complete solar orbit. But you need to set up your times with the best possible intention as far as like fuel and everything else, because you really need to be worried about that kind of stuff. To not be worried about it is kind of a joke, and you might as well not even go and do interplanetary travel at all. And I feel like I'm over-prepared with the amount of fuel that I've brought and everything else. We still have an insane amount, so... And our burn apparently is only 22 seconds long. Would you look at that? Yeah, no, it's honestly not going to be 22 seconds. This is going to be probably somewhere around 4 minutes of burn. So, once I get down to, the node or whatever, I will cut, and we'll do our burn then. I'll do it off camera or whatever. So, but yeah, that's one of the things. Interplanetary travel is a little bit, weird. You gotta wait for the opportune times. Sometimes when you launch, you are just not in an opportune time to go. That's just flat out how it is. You're not going to have the most efficient trip by doing stuff like that. So let's see. I always hate getting this close. I always feel like I'm gonna hit time warp and I'm just gonna fly right past my node. So I'm going to get this down to about 24 minutes or something. I don't know, whatever. We only need about 5 minutes to do this burn or something like that. 4 minutes. It's not... Actually, I could probably bring it down to 3 and be safe. If I miss my mark by a little bit, I'm not going to be too upset because I'll be able to correct it. Which, now I should get my spacecraft aligned. Just push it over. Come on, you big hulking piece of space junk. Hopefully you don't get messed up, and then I will be forced to punch my monitor, and, ever since I started playing this game, you know how many monitors I've gone through? You guys heard me say, like, oh yeah, I punch my monitor and stuff, but, yeah, I think I've gone through about 36 monitors, roughly equal to the amount of episodes that I've had problems building things. So every one of those episodes that you guys have watched where I'm like, yeah, I had to punch my monitor, yeah, dude, every single time, bought a new monitor afterwards. Totally broke it. So, for those of you who complain that my videos have advertising or something, just know that for every monitor broken, the very meager wages that I have been earning have been going towards getting new monitors. Yeah, that was really a long rant. No, I haven't broken a monitor, but I'm definitely... I get very, very pissed at this game at times, so sometimes it gets to the point where I will just literally just turn the game off and not play it for a couple days or a day or something, just because it just gets so infuriating with certain things. So, anyways, let's start our burn on my little rant there. Yeah. So, I'm going to start at 3 minutes flat. So, bring it down. You know what? I'm gonna turn it down. I'll start at 2 minutes 30 something seconds there. Yeah, that seems good. Our burn I don't think is gonna exceed that, but you can see it's kind of jumping around a little bit, so I'm not too sure when we're gonna have to start our burn. Plus, this stage is going to be decoupled very shortly. So, anyways, guys, I'm gotta do some RCS transfer because I happen to use some RCS in some of my tanks that I didn't realize. But anyways, guys, I will see you on the other side in burn to Duna. And we are back, guys. Yeah, so, I ended up doing my burn. I didn't have to do any real fine-tune adjusting. Not too much. Basically when I left off, it was like a 5-minute burn or something like that. Something just nutty long. And, yeah, so I ended up just basically wrapping up the burn. Once I finished, I basically just, I turned on the RCS and I did a little bit more fine-tune adjusting, and I got it to about, what was it? It was like roughly 3.7 million kilometers away, something like that, which, in my book isn't too bad. I have had a little bit closer, I've gotten a little bit closer before, but, that's not that bad. So, we'll go with that, and we'll stick around for that. That's a good thing. Anyways, I'm just gonna transfer out some of this fuel, and we're about to say goodbye to this orange tank. I just kind of want to hold on to it until we get close to Duna orbit and all that other good stuff. You can see, I mean, we are roughly, we have just an insane amount of fuel. We pretty much brought way more than we actually needed, but once again, what I'm going to do is once I get there, and we get into an orbit around Duna, I will take whatever's left inside of all of these tanks, and I'm going to put it all into this orange tank, and I will leave this orange tank in orbit, and that will be used for refueling. Whatever. Another thing I was thinking about is, doing a little pit stop over by, Ike, and leaving this in orbit around Ike, because then what I can do is, we still have the Joule 11 Explorer there, and, yeah, I could just refuel the crap out of that thing with this. So, that works. So let's get all the way there already. So, but yeah, one other thing too, I do realize, generally I always, over engineer a lot of my projects to the point where, like once again, I brought way more fuel than I needed. I probably could have made it to Dres or, even Joule. It's a possibility. I didn't really think about it. I did mention, however, though, I was like, yeah, well, maybe we'll make it to Joule or something with this thing. Another possibility, maybe I will go to Joule. What I'll do is maybe rebuild this exact same configuration, maybe change a few things. We'll see how it goes with the Duna launcher or whatever, and if it works out, then we'll send the next one to Joule. We'll go maybe to Lathe or something. And it looks like we are not gonna have a good orbit since it's, a backwards orbit, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't know what that is called, retrograde orbit or something crazy. I am not going to fix that, only because the amount of fuel required will probably burn away every last bleeding bit of fuel that I do have. So, because basically I'd have to bring this down to 0 and then bring it right back up again, and yeah, that just just insane. Actually, you know what? That's not that bad because I could probably flip this orbit around a little bit and work with it. If anything, I could probably use the moon to kind of use Ike to kind of flip myself around. It's always a possibility, so we'll see what happens. We are 13 minutes off. Let's see how close we are. If we can, oh wow, that's not that bad. You can actually see the planet, and you can see the moon. Not bad, not bad at all. That's all I do have to say. Most of the time, whenever I pull up to Duna, I'm like searching through the space. I'm like, I don't see anything. Where is it? But this isn't bad at all. So let's just flip to retrograde and start our burn. Once again, I might end up, if this doesn't move too quickly, I might end up just cutting this. So, I'm getting a little bit more skilled with the editor. I kind of wanted to do something really special, considering this is my 100th episode, and it's got to be something pretty cool. It's got to be something pretty fun. So just turn off that RCS, since that is something that is somewhat limited. Is it good to start the burn here? I think it's alright. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Let's see how well this thing starts flipping around. But one thing I will say that is kind of cool for you guys who, do interplanetary travel, or you're new to it, is once you're starting your burn, I mean, you can do this even, like, when you're going to the moon. When you start your burn, like right here, let's say, this time will start to increase, especially as you, if you do it beforehand, kind of like I do sometimes, but if you hold your mouse over the escape starts increasing, like, by insane amounts. Like, it starts adding lots of minutes on, and then the closer you get towards, actually completing an orbit, having a full orbit around, the time will start to decrease. So it increases by insane amounts, and then it decreases. So that's kind of like one little thing that I don't think I've ever mentioned before. I haven't really done anything as far as interplanetary travel, like with tutorials or anything like that, because it's a little too complex, and I don't want somebody to go from watching a video about the moon and then watching a video about Minmus to go to something about going to Duna, because it's it's a little bit more involved, whereas going to Duna to me is like so routine and so easy. I mean, going to the moon is, I don't even think there's very much of a difference between getting to moon and getting to Minmus as far as Delta V is concerned. Maybe a few hundred Delta V more, and that's it. There is actually like a chart out there that I used to have that would show you the Delta V's and everything else about to getting to certain places. Once again, I don't calculate Delta V on a lot of my ships and stuff like that, just because I just don't have any time to do it. I don't care so much. I just want to get there. That's it. I mean, who cares if I over-engineered it or whatever? Over-engineering is never really a bad thing in my book. So I'm just stop my burn here, and we'll continue for just a little bit longer. It looks like it's about to start wrapping around anyways, so, and then we'll see too about maybe fixing this orbit possibly. I don't know, but maybe I'll do that off camera if anything, and we'll start a little bit of exploration. Now what I had in mind is maybe going to Ike first and then dropping that orange tank, and just taking most of the fuel out of the ship, and then going to Duna afterwards. I don't know how much of a possibility that's going to be. I know getting to Ike from Duna isn't really that big of a deal, so. But you can see that this is increased, and like I said, the time starts to really increase at a very rapid rate the closer you get, and it looks like it's just about to start wrapping around right now. So, yeah, guys, we've made it. I'm really happy. I've made it 100 episodes. That's just, to me. I've never been a person to commit to things so quickly or do things like this in my life ever. Really, I mean, there's certain things, like I almost have given up a bunch of times, but it's I've never been a person to really do things like this all the time. So it's actually, somewhat amazing that I've made it this far and I've done this much with this game. If it wasn't for you guys, especially the people who comment, I'm not going to take away from the people who watch, but, the people who comment and they always have their very supportive things that they say to me and, everything else, you have no idea how much it's appreciated. That's the one thing I do have to say. You have no idea. You guys keep me playing more than more than just playing this game. Because honestly, I probably would have given up a long time ago. So it really does keep me going, and it really does help out. That's what I do have to say. It's absolutely awesome. So thank you guys for watching, tuning in. I don't know if anybody who actually if you guys still watch from basically some of my first episodes, which I will say they are pretty awesome, but you can tell that I was a bit of a noob. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to fix that. So that's going to be as good as we get. So I'll start up one last little burn here just to correct it, and then I'm going to see where we go from here. Don't know yet, but this has got to be probably one of my longest episodes. So once again though, guys, you guys are awesome. I don't really know. There's not really much I could do. I mean, the one thing I really wanted to do, and I've been considering it still, it's just, I would need to set up something. It's like, with live streams, I checked out a bunch of stuff, and I was trying to do it, but the only real way to do a good live stream is to actually pay for the software to do a live stream. Because most of the software, because I was looking at XSplit, which apparently is probably the best one, and I ended up coming to find out that, like, if you want to do a live stream with that kind of stuff, like, you gotta end up paying monthly for the software, and I'm not a very, very big fan of that. And the software that YouTube offers, that if you want to do like live streaming and stuff, isn't a very good software, because most of the features that you actually do need, and the ones that are, the base, the very baseline kind of things, like getting 1080p or whatever else, those kind of things are not free. You have to pay for the program in order to have that. So it's, to me, I call that broken software, because all that is, broken freeware, I should say, because all that is just an advertisement to buy their stuff. It's not even a fully functioning program. I do understand that coders do need to get paid, but there's no point in releasing a piece of software that does nothing, especially freeware. And I do have to say, there's a lot of freeware out there that is just complete junk garbage that will just infest your computer. It's just stupid stuff. So, there's a lot of helpful programs out there that are freeware, but that's just a different story. I have a lot of problems with software. People who engineer software, I have just too many problems with the way they operate, especially companies like EA, and there's a bunch of them out there that really just, their best thing they can do is just keep producing craptastic software. So that's just my personal point of view on it, but I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, well, this is free and this is amazing, this thing is free and this is amazing. Yeah, I do agree, but certain things are free, certain things are amazing, but, you know, overall, you know, I don't, I'm not going to pay for something that I'm probably barely ever going to use. You know, if it were just a one-time fee of maybe $10 or $12 or $15, then I'd be okay with that. But the fact that I actually have to pay somewhere around $100 to have a year-long license where I'm only going to maybe use it once every month or something, it really doesn't suit any purpose to me as far as actually paying for it or owning it. So, I'm sorry guys, but if anyone knows a good piece of software to use, let me know. You know, specifically, you know, if it's free and, you know, if it's kind of somewhat easy to use. I mean, I am okay with somewhat of a learning curve, but once again, I can't spend... Doggy, I know you want to be on the live stream, okay? Yeah, so... No, if you guys know something that works particularly well... Whoa, that's kind of funky. That is really funky. Doggy is just mad that I've been talking about live streams. But, yeah, no, if you guys know some kind of software that's relatively good, let me know, and, yeah, maybe I'll check it out, maybe I'll buy it or something, whatever. Even if it's, I don't mind paying a one-time fee, I just refuse to pay a subscription for something that really serves no purpose to me other than live streaming maybe once a month, which it's kind of a joke. I mean, even CNanners has live streaming capabilities and he doesn't even use it that much, so, you know, it really doesn't make any sense to be paying for something like that. So, let's see what we can get here. I want to check out my fuel real quick. If I transfer half of this tank out, which is going to be like right here, I'm going to have like almost no fuel left afterwards. So, but leaving an orbit from, you know, this would extend our mission with the Jewel Explorer. Let's see. I could land a few more probes, maybe. I don't know. This is kind of a cool thing. I don't have a lot of time to figure this out, but if anything, I mean, it really would bring nothing to the Jewel Explorer mission other than fuel, which, I mean, it's not lacking on right now. I mean, the Jewel Explorer itself has enough fuel to get back to Kerbin, so I'm not concerned about that. What I'm more concerned about is, like, if it would add something really cool to the mission, then I would probably do it. But if anything, I think we're just going to do our burn to get into orbit around Duna, a very close orbit. So let's see what we can get. Bring this down really far. And we're not even going to use a lot of fuel to get to Duna, so that's actually kind of surprising. Bring this down really far. Yeah, I'll put it at like 150. That works for me. So, turn off time warp. And Dowgay, you are not allowed on the live streams, because Dowgays can't talk. They can't do commentary. I mean, you can do some commentary sometimes, but I don't think people understand what you're saying. There we go. And, yeah, I kind of waited a little bit too long to do that burn, but whatever. It's not going to threaten the mission in any way. So, yeah. I'm going to get into orbit, and then I'm going to probably cut there for a minute. I don't know. Maybe we'll do our landing right now. I mean, might as well. So, shouldn't be too bad. Let's just stop right here. And that should be good. Let's just swing this around. Whoa. Yeah. So let's just bring this around once again. And we will do our landing here very shortly. I think, yeah, I kind of feel like I want to cut, but at the same time I don't. So just bring this down. Wouldn't that be amazing to get some kind of just extremely weird orbit off of one of the moons there? Kind of fix this, go back down, come on, come on, come on. But no, that would kind of suck because it would completely ruin our mission. But I remember one time I was in like when I did my first mission to Jewel. Actually, I did it off camera, and I ended up bringing I ended up getting into this weird orbit where I was getting shot around by all the planets, just back and forth and back and forth. It was the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen in this game. So it was definitely something cool, I do have to say, because I don't really get to see that kind of stuff anymore. But we'll have to go back to Jewel. That will probably be another trip that we have to do at some point. I'm gonna try to fix some of this weird orbit that we got going on here, the inclination. Ooh, excuse me. Yes. Alright, bring this around one more time. And you know what? I think we're getting ready to land. And I want to land on the bright side sometime. That would be good. Considering landing on the dark side just is not fun at all. So it's actually quite scary. Little known fact, guys, I am scared of the dark. I will generally cry and hide someplace whenever I am exposed to the dark. So I generally try to avoid it with all costs. So just little known fact, just a little snippet there, I guess, if you want to call it that. I am scared of the dark. I actually cry like a little girl with flowers in my hair. So yeah, spending a lot of time in the map view kind of really ruins that whole watching yourself getting into orbit around the planet thing. So let's see, our first landing here on Duna ever was right there. Now I'm gonna kind of just scope out the planet and kind of find a good landing site. There's a lot of points of interest that I kind of want to get into, but I like these like really weird looking craters, how they're a lot different than the craters on the moon or any other planet, how they're just like, some of them are like almost perfectly round, or they, it's just really crazy. That's all I got to say. It's crazy. So I think, if anything, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to deorbit all this stuff, to be honest. There's no point in keeping it here, really. It's just going to be basically a big piece of space junk floating around. And I think we want to land right here in this crater, too, to be honest. So let's get down there. This is got to be, once again, most of this stuff, not really inspired by anybody in particular. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing it for myself as well, but, I'm doing this for you guys because, I really appreciate everything that everyone has said and done for me, all the time that I've been playing this game and everything else. It's been a fun trip, guys, and that's all I gotta say. Way too many supportive people in this game that are just so willing to help you with everything, and kind of always steer you in the right direction, and always try to do the right thing. And with the community that has been watching my videos, it really is just amazing and how far we have all come, all the stuff I've done, and how my videos have progressed over time. When I first started playing this game, and especially when I first started recording my videos, I was nothing but, pretty much a noob at this game still. I'm willing to admit that on camera. I was pretty much no different than a lot of you guys that play. Really didn't know what I was doing with certain things. I've also considered redoing my tutorials just because of that fact. Some of my earlier tutorials, just because certain things I was talking about, not that they are inaccurate, but I could have done them a little bit better. And but I'm not gonna go all George Lucas on you guys or anything like that. So, but yeah, it's just very awesome. They're just absolutely awesome. The amount of support and everything else that I've gotten. So I'm hoping that this thing will land too, because this is relatively untested as far as like the atmosphere and everything else is concerned. For those of you who have never seen anything get into orbit around Duna, or ever gone to Duna or any of that stuff, this is a good learning experience for you. You get to kind of watch some of the stuff I do and then figure out how to do it yourself, which overall it really isn't that hard. But we are ready to get rid of most of this vehicle. Let me just get back to my map screen real quick. And what I'm going to do is drop a bunch of this stuff. First, I'm going to get rid of this huge tank. And then we will get rid of the everything else. We don't need these. I'm gonna maybe do a little bit more of a burn, to be honest. I'll just do a little tiny burn, just to get us away from the massive orange tank. But that burn, I think, will kill this orange tank, so I think I'm just gonna... There we go. I don't know what just exploded, but okay. That works. I think that was it was the docking port that was on top of that thing, so whatever. And let's see. I'm gonna have to end up putting all the RCS fuel back inside here. That's one of the main things that I have been neglecting, so I'll undock. Wait, what I'm going to do is, this is going to be kind of cool. I'll push all this fuel out on this side and undock this piece. And then I'll go on this side and push all this fuel out. And then we'll do another little bit of a burn, and then I'll get rid of the rest, and, even though this is kind of wasting time a little bit, should be good. So, let's start another little burn. That's just to keep some symmetry involved, because with fuel masses, as you start transferring fuel out, if it's not like 100% exact, there will be a little bit, you will not be very balanced. The balance of the ship will be lost. So that's just to kind of keep some balance. Let's see. Alright, well, yeah, this is looking pretty good. We're going to get rid of most of our junk left over with this ship. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of this. And now we are just left with... Oh, I gotta get rid of this thing, too. I should really get rid of this. So, get on decouple. There we go. And we have one engine exposed, and I'm going to start, while we're falling, transferring fuel out of this stage here as well. Definitely, I brought way more than I needed. I really did over-prepare. Oh god. But yeah, this is this is kind of all for you guys. I really wanted to do this for you guys. That's main thing. But this mission seems like it's going to be a success, but I really don't want to say that because it's probably going to jinx me, so I'm still thinking about keeping this stage on there until the very bleeding end, and then using that to slow down once we're in the atmosphere, because I'm afraid that there's just not going to be enough to stop us. So I feel like we're gonna come down like a freight train. So that's just me though. So I could have probably aero braked or something. There probably would have been a little bit of a better route to take, because you would slow down progressively. Because like this way, we're pretty much falling out of the sky. So we're gonna come down like a meteor. So I missed this tank, I think. I'm not going to turn these tanks off, mostly because of the fact that it's just annoying. So it would be really nice to keep this stage though, but I know I won't be able to. I'm gonna put the gear down, and these are our landing gear for landing, obviously. Let's bring this in a little bit further. And I'm going to start slowing us down a little bit too, because that just seems like the logical solution. It's funny how we still have control over these. I'm just going to manually operate everything on this rocket for right now, at least. Just because I don't feel safe in doing it any other way. But I'm just going to slow us down. Be nice to time warp while I'm doing this. I don't have any decouplers other than this one, and I'm going to actually bring this up here. And I don't know what all these engines are. I don't know why. Yeah, there we go. They're gone. The parachutes should be deployed. Yeah, I can't even click on them, so that's good. The one thing in hindsight that I should have done is brought more Kerbals along with me, but can't really do anything about that right now. So it looks like we're coming down here pretty slowly, which is pretty good. I just, I really wanted to put the stage on here just to slow us down. I was thinking that we were going to burn through all our fuel, and the only thing we were going to have left just to get us to knock us out of orbit from Duna is this stage here. So it looks like we are about to enter the atmosphere. Well, at least the very upper portion of the atmosphere, which is amazing. So yeah, I think we're in it right now. Not 100%. Yeah, we're descending, so I'm gonna turn this engine off just to save some fuel and begin the descent. We can watch some fire. That's always a good thing when there's lots of fire. Turn on this engine once again. There we go. Now we will have a powered descent. It's just going to take us a little while. The power descent stage is right here. I don't know why any of the engines aren't on, but technically they should be on right now because they're all part of the same stage. Oh, and there goes our chutes. This is looking amazing. 6,000 off the surface, and we are not slowing down. 200. Wow, this is gonna, I don't know if this is gonna be cutting it close or not. Time to decouple this stage and start our powered descent. I don't know why these engines aren't working. They worked in testing, so whatever. Yeah, so these engines aren't working for some reason. That is actually quite annoying, but whatever. It looks like we're slowing down pretty good here. Yeah. We are really slowing down. As long as we can drop below 10 meters a second, I think we should be fine. Even this, I think we're okay. It's fairly slow drop. Oh, this fuel has been expended somehow. Okay, that's really weird. So, amazing. So we are on the surface. We have a rover and 4 HAB modules. They will be connected up in one of our later episodes. What I will do right now, just for fun, is Shelzer EVA? Yeah, Shelzer. Whatever your name is. Yeah. So this is our first manned mission to Duna. And this is amazing. So once again, guys, thank you for watching. I'll plant a flag down. And yeah. Wow. Amazing. First manned mission to Duna, and 100th episode. Thanks, guys. So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Definitely freaking amazing. We've made it to Duna, and yeah, so if you haven't already, comment, all that good stuff, subscribe, yeah, there's always more to come, and yeah, I will see you next time.